Good morning, friends. My name is Kiran. I'm here to present the wedding project I planned for Mary and David, who are living in Australia and they basically belong to Christian culture. Mary and David are both childhood friends and are in love with each other, and they've decided to get married. So, this whole presentation will discuss the wedding plan for Mary and David. The purpose of this presentation is to provide the entire concept of wedding. As we all know, wedding day is the dream day of everyone's life, and almost every couple try his best to make this day special for them. So, planning a detailed wedding concept is about assisting the couple to put their ideas and dreams into life. The wedding I planned is for 80 to 100 guests, and this numbering is including the children as well. And the proposed budget for this wedding is about $14,000 to 15,000 Australian dollars. This slide is about the budget management and it shows how budget can be managed within the different categories of wedding requirements. Potentially the most costly category that can be is the venues. Reception venue and the ceremony venue is costing $4,000, while the second most costly thing is food and beverage services, and it's costing $3,200. And as we all can see on the screen, entertainment is costing $1,000. Cake is about $250. Bride and groom, their dresses and suits are costing 2,000 altogether, and hair and makeup is 5,500. Sorry, and invitations are costing 250. Decor is 2,000. Photographer and video is 1,000. And wedding planner fee is $1,000. Transportation is 400, and gifts for bridesmaids and groomsmen is also costing 400. And the altogether cost for all these categories is 15,000, which is our proposed budget for the Mary and David's wedding. With regards to the decoration, a particular theme needs to be chosen for both the wedding venues. I mean, for the reception venue and the ceremony venue. And depending upon that theme and color, seating, table, and floral arrangements would be done. And in particular, the decor checklist will include the signage like welcome, parking, dancing, bar, and other signage, and it will also include personal signage like toilets, memories, photographers, and seating plan would also be considered under the decor checklist. And of course, the tables like cake table, decor table, cake table, dessert table, and catering tables, they will also be decorated, and floral arrangements would be done as per the client's choice, and decorative candles, easel running, bar and drink station decoration, all this comes under the decor checklist. Flowers are the most important and beautiful thing in a wedding, and it must be chosen very carefully. While choosing the flowers, budget, wedding theme and color, season, size, and smell of flower, shape of the flower, and the shape of the bouquet, bridal bouquet, all these must be chosen very carefully and it must align with the wedding vision and the wedding theme as well. Choosing the wedding venue, which includes reception venue and ceremony venue, is always a difficult task of a wedding plan. And the bookings for reception venue and ceremony venue should be done in advance, and it should be at least 4 to 6 months in advance. And while booking the venue, there are lots of things that needs to be considered very carefully. The first thing is the wedding capacity. We need to see if the venue is able to occupy the proposed number of guests or not. And the ambience of the venue is always very important. We need to see how the environment of the venue is and if it suits our wedding requirements or not. And always the services and amenities of the venue must be asked. We need to ask the venue owners if they are providing the AC, electricity, water, and all those amenities or not. And we need to ask about the washroom, restrooms, and dressing rooms as well. And about the accessibility, we need to see if the venue is able to allow the access to the disabled or specialized persons. And of course, the parking is very important. We need to see if the venue has the available parking for the guest of the wedding or not. And insurance also comes under the important aspects. We need to see if the venue is having required insurance in order to be liable for holding the receptions or ceremonies and all that. And the layout of the wedding venue should be in accordance with the wedding plan. We need to have a look if the layout and the structure of the wedding or reception venue is able to align with the wedding vision and wedding plan. The wedding cake is the most important part of the reception. It can serve as a focal point to draw guests' attention. It is very important to choose the right sized cake. Depending upon the number of guests that are coming to the reception, we need to choose the size of the cake, and also the look and design of the cake must match the reception theme. And it is also important to consider the taste of the guest so that we can choose the cake flowers in accordance with the guest preference and the couple's preference as well. And cake servings should be taken into consideration, and of course the cutlery that is required to cut the cake should also be considered, and cake table should be decorated and should come under the decoration part, and it should align with the wedding vision as well. For a bride, choosing wedding dress is one of the difficult things of a wedding. It should be selected about 3 months in advance, and not only the bride's dress but also the groom's suit and groom's suits and bridesmaids dresses. All this must be ordered in advance in order to avoid any hassles and tackles, and then the relevant and required clothing or accessories should be bought. And while selecting the dresses and suits, budget must be considered, and the dress should also reflect the style and personality of the couple, and it should also match to the wedding theme as well. And it is always very important to be comfortable in the dress, so especially the bride should consider the comfortability, and she needs to make sure she is able to breathe in the dress, and she should also consider how the dress is looking in the photos, and because it can have a great impact on the wedding and on the photography. Hair and makeup is something that charms up the bride in the wedding, and it is also an important part of a wedding. And while choosing the hair and makeup artist, A bride needs to have a makeup trial and hair trial as well. And if she's not satisfied with a single trial, she can have multiple trials as well. And especially the lipstick shade, it must be a comfortable one. The bride should always choose a lipstick shade she feels comfortable in. And during the wedding, she needs to have few required products in on hand. I mean in approach, so that if she needs anything during the wedding regarding his makeup or hair, she needs to have things in hand. And also, the very important part is the foundation. It must match the skin tone, otherwise it won't look nice in the photos. And she also needs to consider her hairstyle. She needs to see which hairstyle suits her, so she can look nice in the photos. And the hairstyle must suit her, especially. It's always about the suitability. With regards to the invitations, there are a couple of things that needs to be considered very carefully. And of course, the budget we need to consider, and then we need to see the color as well, if it is aligning with the wedding vision and theme and style and all that. And of course, the size of the invitation shouldn't be very big or very small. And the very important aspect, it should be easy to read. Our proposed or potential guest should be able to read and understand the invitation properly. And piece of paper needs to be made by the couple, and it is very important to proofread the invitation before sending it to the guest, because sometimes the um, people printing the invitations, they can make mistakes in the wedding venue, in or in anything about the wedding, and it can be a very big problem. So it is always wise and good idea to proofread the invitation proposal before sending it through to the guest. With regards to entertainment, it is very important to choose the right entertainment group, so that we can charm the wedding environment. And with choosing the entertainment group, there are a couple of things that needs to be kept in mind. And the first thing is the audience interest. We need to know what kind of guests we are having and what their interests are. According to their interests, we need to choose the entertainment group and select the music as well. And it is always great to ask the entertainment group if they are setting up the equipment, and if yes, we need to ask them how they are setting up the equipment, so that we have an idea of how they will arrange their setup and how it will impact the guest and the environment of the wedding. And of course, we need to verify the availability of the entertainment group, if they are able to come on the day of reception or on the day of wedding. And we need to ensure the guarantee of the performance, and for this we need to see the clips of their work from the past client and their references and reviews and all that. And we always need to consider the budget, and we shouldn't be lacking behind while negotiating the price. And as I said, it is always good to check with the past client or reviews and references, all that, in order to make sure if we are choosing the right entertainment group. Photography and video is the memory element of the wedding, and it always reminds us about the memories that we have in our life with our near and dear ones. And it is very important to choose the right photographer and videographer. And for choosing the right photographer and videographer, we need to interview them first, and we need to ask them the very important thing, which is how many photographers and videographers will be coming to the wedding. and and it is always great to ask how they will edit and design the video. And the photographer and videographer must have an eye of detail, and they must be perfect in their work, and they should be able to click these small events and moments of the wedding, so that we can make sure they are capturing everything, and they are recording each and every memory of the dream day of the couple. And the person doing the photographer and videographer must be creative and imaginative and have the team working skills as well. And it is always good to capture each and every fun and interesting moment of the wedding in order to make it memorable and fun. And while arranging the wedding transportation, we need to consider the cost of the transportation, and we also need to know the pickup and drop off location so that we can get the right vehicles and right transportation area. And it is always good to know how long we are going to transport things or guests. How far is the venue from the transported vehicles, and the group size that needs to be transported should be considered so that in accordance with the group size, number of vehicles can be hired. And it is always good to negotiate with the price. We shouldn't be afraid to negotiate the price with the hiring agents. Although venues are booked in the weddings, still we need to hire some of the equipments and things for the wedding. And some of the things of the rentals include tents, tables, chairs, dance floor, linen, napkins, lounge furniture, glassware, dinnerware, and all that. With regards to the food services, it is always good to check the menu first so that we know what kind of food is being delivered in the wedding. And it's always good to taste the food before signing the contract with the food vendors. And we can also ask for the leftover baskets at the reasonable price if the vendor is interested to do so. And we of course need to check the references and reviews of the vendors, and we need to make sure if they will do the right thing on the day of wedding or not. And we need to ask the price per person and also the price of the whole wedding and see which one is suitable for us. And it is always good to consider the budget and ask them how they are going to charge the client. Legal requirements are very important part of a wedding. It's the very basic part of a wedding, and it is must to obtain a marriage license from the county check and pay fee to the clerk. And the marriage must be performed by an authorized celebrant, and there should be at least 2 witnesses during the marriage. And of course, signing the marriage register and certificate also comes under the legal requirements of a wedding. This slide presents the risk and disaster management of the wedding. So it shows the risk that we can have during the wedding. unfortunately we always have drawbacks, and we always have the negatives of everything in life. So we always need to consider how we will manage if we have risk and disasters during the wedding. So in case we have weather issue like harsh weather conditions that are affecting the wedding arrangements, especially the outdoor arrangement, we can how we needs to handle that. And in order to respond to the weather issue, we will have a detailed backup plan for indoor wedding activity and indoor wedding as well. And the second risk that we can have is going out of budget. I mean, for some of the deliverables, we can spend more than expected, and it will be a problem for us. And in order to respond to this, we will revise all the deliverables, and we will ensure that we are not spending more than the expected amount. And the third reason that is not very effective is the change of guest. I mean, we can have more or less than the expected number of guests, but it won't matter a lot, but it will surely matter a little bit. And in order to respond to this, we need to rearrange the seating and manage catering as per the changed number of guest list. Here is the reference list that I used for the presentation, and it also includes the five suppliers, five expert suppliers that are specialized for the weddings. And I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for attending my presentation. Thank you. Have a good rest of the day.